Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this series of videos that's focusing in on Kaspersky Unified Monitoring and Analysis Platform. This is the sixth edition, and in today's session, we are going to start talking about the enrichment of events with data that's coming from a DNS server. So, in general, the Kuma collector performs a predefined set of actions on data coming from event sources, and the collector receives events, passes, and normalizes them, and the completeness of the data depends on what the event source sends. Often, the completeness of the data can be improved by enrichment. So, let's consider the following example. Kuma receives a stream of events containing data in the source hostname and destination address fields, but no information about the IP address of the outgoing connection and or the FQDN, or fully qualified domain name, of the actual destination point. The source host name field makes it difficult to determine what subnet the host is located in, and the destination address makes it difficult to understand which server the suspicious connection is being made to. It would be good to supplement the data from the event source with information from our DNS server. Let's open the properties of the event collector and go to section 6, event enrichment, and add enrichment. Specify the name of the enrichment, the type of enrichment, in this case it would be DNS, and specify the address of the DNS server that knows everything about the forward and reverse lookup zones of our corporate network. Go to the check settings section and click Save and Update Service Settings. So let's have a look what the results are. The information provided to Kuma now looks much better. A host on a small subnet is trying to establish a suspicious connection to a domain controller. To get a quick result, I created the enrichment within the collector itself. However, since the result of such enrichment turned out to be decent, it makes sense to set up DNS enrichment not only on this collector, but on several or all collectors at once. Configuring settings within each collector is not a good option. Such enrichments are difficult to maintain. For example, if the DNS server name changes or another DNS server is added, I will create a separate enrichment rule and link it to the relevant collectors. To do this, let's create a new resource of the enrichment rule type. We fill in the required fields, and then please just note that the URL field is optional for DNS enrichment. Note that it is not filled in, and the DNS enrichment will be performed in accordance with the settings. Of course, the settings of the collector server's operating system. And on different collector servers, the contents of the resolve.conf file may differ. Therefore, it is permitted to leave the field blank in certain cases, such as for all-in-one installations, but it is more reliable to explicitly specify the server address. So, overall, now we've made an enrichment rule. Now, let's apply it to our collectors. Replace the built-in enrichment with a linked rule. Update the collector configuration and save the settings. Link the enrichment rule to all of the collectors where it is needed. Update the parameters for the collectors that the enrichment rule is attached to. Now, you can be sure that everything will be fine with DNS enrichment. Just keep in mind that DNS enrichment is only performed for gray IP addresses. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the sixth entry into this series on Kaspersky Unified Monitoring and Analysis, specifically focusing on DNS enrichment. Thank you so much for joining, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.